So you just found out you're pregnant. What do you do now? Is your life over? Do you feel like it's over? Are you scared for what the future holds? Your body's never going to be the same. Your relationships will never be the same. That you have to give up all the fun that you're currently having. And I'm here to tell you that is not the case at all. So today we're going to talk about 10 things that I wish I knew when I found out I was pregnant with our first child. So number one, your body will grow in ways you never thought it would. And what I mean by this is that if you're used to being pretty fit and in shape, you're not used to your stomach and your thighs and your cheeks growing in all different sort of directions, not used to the stretch marks, not used to all the cravings that you have, or you just want to shove food down your throat. That was a huge adjustment to me, and I think it still is, because I don't feel comfortable being pregnant. And when I see my belly, I know it's beautiful, but that was a huge adjustment, being okay and making that switch to be okay with your body growing. And when you go to the doctor's office, you gained 30, 40 pounds. By this time, I'm 34 weeks pregnant, so I don't know how much it is, but I think it's been like 35 pounds, which is just nuts to think about. So realizing that your body's going to change, but after pregnancy, it is possible to go back to normal or even better than you looked before you were pregnant. Number two, you have never experienced lack of sleep until you have a newborn who doesn't sleep. This hit me hard. You are operating on like 2 to 3 hours, if that, of sleep for the first 3 to 4, 5 months. And that was probably the worst thing about having a child, because you're used to sleeping in on the weekends, but now you have to get up when the baby cries. You have to feed the baby when it needs to be fed. You can't take a shower when you want to take a shower. You really can't eat when you want to eat. You have to squeeze everything in the baby's time. And while you're doing all that, you have to run on empty. And so that is something that I don't think that you can prepare yourself for. But it was a huge shock to me, and it took a while, because your hormones are already going crazy after having a baby. Your emotions are running high, especially if it's your first baby, and you're running on lack of sleep. But I am here to tell you that now our 20-month-old and our 3-year-old sleep through the night. So there is light at the end of the tunnel when you're experiencing the lack of sleep. Tip number 3. You will fall apart if you don't have community behind you. So it is possible to function on your own, but you need that support. So whether it's with food, with prayers, with someone who can come over and just watch the baby for a little bit, you will feel like you are going absolutely insane if there's not someone to help you out and take the baby for a couple of hours. So you need to be able to accept the help, even though it's hard for moms to accept help, but you need that to become the best version of yourself and to keep the best version of yourself. And you're not a bad mom when you ask for help. We are here on this earth to live in community with each other, to live closely with one another. So grab the people behind you who offer to help, because people want to help you. So make sure that you have people on deck when you're about to mentally lose it with crying, with a lot of crying, or just emotionally, like you cannot get yourself off the couch. That is when you call your support system in. You will be okay, but days can be so hard. And I know that everyone says like, oh, taking all this time because it goes by so fast. And I don't love when people say that, because I'm like, yeah, but it's really hard right now. So like accepting the help is something that you need to do. So tip number 4, daycare costs way too much. So we've decided to put our kids in daycare instead of me staying home. And I know it's a really hard choice for a lot of people to make. And this is something I wish I knew earlier on, because it also takes a really long time to even get in a daycare. But I will say that our boys love daycare, and they love their friends, they love their teachers, and they're learning so much. So as much as I can entertain them at home, I could not do half the things that they do at daycare. So trying to be okay with that, I'm still a good mom, even if I put them in daycare. And then I just try to give them everything I have at night, and they still, I think, love me the same. And so there's no right or wrong way, but that's definitely a huge hurdle that we had to really evaluate and kind of adjust to, because it is very expensive. We're on the cheaper end of it probably right now, and it's like $2,200 a month. So that's also good to know when you're having a baby, to evaluate the cost of it, with it being so expensive. Tip number 5, that I would turn into the best version of myself after having kids. So I think back on who I was before having kids, and I was an okay person, but I was probably like here, but I've grown so much since having kids. I really think about what's important in life, and not just taking kind of going through the days, going in through the motions in my days, but really pushing myself, and because I set the example for my kids. So I want my kids to see that I am taking on challenges, or pushing my body, or loving them so much, or growing deeper in my relationship with Jesus, with my patience, my selflessness. And so I think that's very encouraging, because like I kind of talked about earlier, is you're so nervous that you're going to lose yourself in all of it. And you for sure can, but you can either decide to turn into the best version of yourself, or decide to let yourself go. And so hopefully you dive into the best version of yourself, so your kids can see you becoming that, and that's the path that they want to follow. The version of myself I'm not proud of, but that changed a lot, is being a dog mom. So we have 2 dogs, and they were our babies before the boys were born. And now I have a different relationship with them. I don't know how about you guys, but my dogs are at my feet all the time. They sleep by my head. They want to be cuddled and pet. And I'm just so like overtouched by the time the boys go to bed, that when they try to touch me and they're right at my feet, my patience has not been good with them. So that is an area of myself that was a big adjustment. I thought they would be my babies forever, and they still are, but just lower on the totem pole. So my next tip is, life is so much more peaceful and so much more fun when you hand your kids over to Jesus, and know that you have control over your kids, but in the end, Jesus loves your kids so much more than you do. And to just have that peace knowing that the Lord has them. Your angels will protect them. Their bodyguards have them. And to know that the worries and anxieties that you have, you only have so much control. So just letting go of that grip is freeing, compared to living every moment and trying to keep them safe, keep them healthy, keep them away from people. Because this world is crazy, but knowing that they're in the Lord's hands just makes being a mom so much more fun. My next tip is that you will see your marriage grow in ways that you never thought were possible. Like, you thought you were close with your husband when you married him and in love with him in the honeymoon stage and everything like that. But after you guys go through that experience together of in that hospital room with that having that baby, and like him seeing everything that you're sacrificing with your body, and just having the baby just brings you so much closer to each other. And having to work as a team, communicating with each other, and knowing that you need each other to really have a successful family and to count on one another when one is having an off day, that the other one kind of takes over and you're able to have each other's back. So I think that's been really cool, just seeing a marriage where it was, and then after having kids, working on it every day because it's a choice to pursue your husband, pursue your marriage, and with the communication skills. But that's been an awesome blessing with kids, to just have our family grow and the relationship that you have with your husband. 8th tip is your body can do so much more than you ever thought it could do. So what I mean by this is it can endure pregnancy, it can grow a human. You go through breastfeeding, you go through sleepless nights, you go through emotional roller coasters, and yet your body just keeps on performing. And what I thought has been really cool, and what I've seen throughout my journey as becoming a mom, is the strength that my body has and the way it's been able to bounce back after pregnancy. I like to think I take a very good care of my body because I'm like, it's the vessel of God. So the strength that He can give me and the stuff that what your body can do is, there's a limit to it, but there's so much more that your body can do. And so I did a half Ironman a year after having our second, and the fact that my body could bounce back after having a kid is just incredible. So your body is not weak. It is as strong as you want it to be. And so with having a baby and breastfeeding and still trying to perform everyday tasks, it is so much stronger than you think. So hopefully you know and are not discouraged by the old you, because the new you and the new version of you after having a kid is truly so much stronger than the you that you are now. Tip number 9, I would learn to be second. So before I had any responsibility besides getting myself ready and out the door, you're not a selfish person, but you really learn how to be selfless when you have kids. Your needs are put second compared to theirs, which isn't a bad thing. We're called on this earth to live second, putting the Lord first, putting others before us, and having that servant's heart. And I've really seen that blossom with having kids, because you want to give them everything. And that means that you are put second. So you do have to make sure you're taking care of yourself, but knowing that that's an adjustment that you have to make with changing your schedule, changing your routine, and knowing that things will be different, but in such a beautiful way. And tip number 10, you will learn and experience this love that you've never experienced before. And that's the kind of love how Jesus loves us. But Jesus loves us even more than we can even love our kids, which I can't even fathom. You, as a mom, you have never loved someone as much as your little baby after you have birth, and see them for the first time and hear them cry and hear them laugh. It's just like, it warms your heart more than anything. So know that if you're scared right now, you just found out you're pregnant and you're like, what's next? Or what am I supposed to do with my crazy kids? They're beautiful and they're a blessing from God, and they're made in God's design and creation. And the love you have for them is something that you have never experienced anything before in your whole entire life. So I hope through today's video that you've learned some tips and kind of taken some things away that maybe you haven't thought of before. But congratulations on either your new baby or this next step that you're thinking about taking in life, and knowing that it's such a beautiful blessing, and that things are crazy, times are crazy, your house is nuts, but it's something that you would never change. So if you're a mom right now and you have moments or things that you wish you knew before, let me know what those are, because it's always fun to see what other people have gone through and how they've changed their mindset. But I hope that this encourages you today, and know that you are loved and your baby is loved, and you will get through it. It's hard, but it's so, so beautiful. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.